Coach Blue here. You may not know this, but Addict II Athlete isn't our full-time job yet. Hopefully one day it will be, but for right now we've got ourselves a big boy job. I work as an independent therapist for a group called 2020 Counseling here in Springville, Utah. And I work independently with a bunch of folks who are overcoming addictions, who are overcoming mental health issues, who are seeking assistance with relationships, couples therapy, work with the whole gamut, youth all the way up to elderly. And the one thing that I find most impressive, and I always have since I've been working in this field, is how much courage it takes to ask for help. Literally, how hard is it for someone to say, hey, I don't think I can do this on my own. I'm gonna need some help. The courage that it takes for people to kind of drop down into a mindset by which they're willing to ask for help and then having the courage to follow through with it is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I take my job real seriously because of the trust that they put into it. That being said, I think it's important to also understand that a therapist isn't supposed to be your friend, that we're here to talk about some hard things. When you allow us in and we get to kind of find solutions together, amazing things can happen. So let's come up with a little plan. If you're thinking about starting therapy, there are a few things you're going to want to know. And number one, it's important for you to take time, find a therapist who you feel compatible with. This isn't a slap in the face to a therapist that maybe you've started with, given them a few sessions, and it doesn't seem to be working out. See, there's the hook. You don't owe them anything. So if that therapist isn't working for you, with you, if you don't feel like you're compatible, don't just simply settle. Make sure that you feel comfortable. Make sure that you understand that this is a relationship, that they're there for you, you're not there for them. Obviously. Number two, chances are you're gonna feel worse before you start feeling better. This is a common thing that happens. When you've suppressed emotions, when you've kind of avoided sensitive topics for so long, I guarantee you, your first couple of sessions might sting a little bit, but that's okay because that's you unpacking all that emotional baggage that you no longer have to carry. It's not always a given. It's not always a specific attribute of counseling, but just know if it stings a little bit, if it hurts a little bit, it's gonna get better. Don't give up the process so quick. It's about finding a rhythm, getting in sync, being able to trust that process. Okay, this is a crucial one. If your therapist upsets you, if they say something that stings a little bit, if they say something that truly hurts, don't just take it. Speak up. Confront them. See, therapists are supposed to be good people for you to be upset with, people to share your emotions with. We don't take things personal. I know, for instance, when there's been times that my clients and I haven't seen eye to eye, one of the coolest things is when they can raise their hand and say, hey, I don't see it that way. I think you're wrong. And that is completely okay. We're not mind readers. But can you imagine the damage that could be done if you just simply take whatever your therapist says as gospel? What if they're wrong? If you feel there's some impasse, if you feel you're being misunderstood, speak up. It's okay. You're not going to hurt our feelings. But what you're going to do is start progressing through counseling and therapy with a mindset that you're in control. You're the one driving the ship. So if something's out of whack, if something doesn't feel right, make sure that you say something. And then really go to your appointment, even if you don't think you have anything to talk about. This is a big one. Sometimes we're feeling like we come to counseling and therapy and we're like, I don't have anything to talk to my therapist about. But even having a conversation, being able to dissect some of the things that are even going well can help reaffirm that you're on the right path. So even if in your wildest dreams you have nothing to discuss, go anyway. Talk about how things are going. Talk about what you're doing, what you're observing. It doesn't always have to be doom and gloom and sadness and chaos and trauma and pain. It can also be talking about some successes that you've had. But with that comes an understanding of knowing when to start winding it down. Meaning if you feel like you're on your feet, if you feel like you've got some good tools that you've been able to receive, if you feel as though you've made progress, start scattering your appointments. Maybe instead of weekly, maybe it's bi-weekly. Then after a bi-weekly period of time, maybe it's monthly. Then maybe it's quarterly. It's not the chiropractic doctor here. Absolute last but not least, if you feel as though you've outgrown your therapist, it is okay to let them know that you've outgrown them. Sometimes therapists get one track, sometimes they get one focus, and sometimes you'll have solved that problem and they may not be the best one to solve the next. If you feel as though you've outgrown your counselor, your therapist, it's okay to let them go. I tell you, if you do these things and you're able to get a mindset wrapped around progression, you'll never have to worry that you've left something undone. A few tips for you. Now go turn that mess into a message.